My name's Stephan Schnierer. I'm born and raised in Byron Bay, and I've come down here today. It's not my traditional country, but I've come down here today to support the local mob in their push for fishing rights in this area, because I fully support the fact that their rights have been denied and they want to get back access to them. And the establishment of this marine park has not allowed their fishing rights to be fully acknowledged, and in the spirit of working together with the marine parks over the years, they've had trouble in terms of getting what it is that they want in terms of access to the various fishing areas out here.
Why is it important for Australian Aboriginal people and Indigenous people in general to be able to access these sorts of resources?
It's fundamental to any human society and culture that people, we're a living organism, we're connected to the environment, we've made our living, we've derived our food and all the materials that we trade from having access to our biological resources. Aboriginal people in this, and Torres Strait Island people in this country, Aboriginal people in particular, have had access to those resources for thousands of years. And then with European colonisation, suddenly that's just snatched away and taken away without any treaty being made, without any of those people giving up any of those rights. There are other countries around this world where treaties were made, and those treaties have been binding and allowed other Indigenous communities like the Maori to have access to a large proportion of their fishery now, not only for cultural purposes but also for commercial purposes. All humans derive their economic base from their access to their natural resources, including living resources, and that's been denied to Aboriginal people in this country.
How important is it as a social aspect to community life for Aboriginal people to be able to use the resources of the ocean?
The fact that people go out, not everyone goes and fishes, you see. So you get the fishermen who go out, they catch a heap of fish, they'll bring them back in, and then they'll go and distribute them to other people. So in that act of distribution, it's reinforcing social bonds. For example, the mullet fishing that used to happen around here, the communities would come down and help pull nets, so you'd have all the kids and all the family on the beach, and that would just reinforce all those social bonds. And the reciprocal arrangements when you might give a mob a feed of mullet and you get something else in return, that type of thing. And by denying access to those sorts of rights, it's breaking up those social structures.
Is it having an effect on the people, certainly along the coastline here, not being able to fish?
Yeah, because fishing for a coastal community is what defines you. And if you can't have access to something that you've always done, it sort of takes away a little part of who it is that you are. So you need to have that access. And then if you want to give it up, negotiate it with the governments. Don't have it taken away from you. There are plenty of international conventions now that protect these rights for Aboriginal people, and the one I'm very familiar with is the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, which is the major environmental policy internationally, signed to by virtually every country in the world, so it's an important one. And tucked away in that convention is Article 8 and Article 10C, and both those articles specifically protect Aboriginal traditional knowledge and cultural practices in their relationship with biodiversity. And under Article 10C, it says that countries need to protect Indigenous access to their biological resources, their customary access. Our country has signed that convention. We have the EPBC Act, the Environmental Protection Biodiversity Act, which actually captures those articles. And so it sits there in our legislation, we've signed it in our convention, yet we seem to have problems at the grassroots level, at the coalface level, of allowing what those conventions and laws are now saying to have their full meaning.
Thank you.